Right now, people are leaving the cryptocurrency industry at a record rate, with the current environment being one of the most fearful environments we have seen in the cryptocurrency industry in a very long time. Guys, in this video, I want to give you my candid thoughts on exactly where we are now, where we're going, what has worked, what hasn't worked. I think it's really important that right now we take an honest look at where we are in this industry, what needs to change, and where does XRP sit moving forward? Guys, like always, if you enjoy these videos, make sure to like and subscribe. And with that said, let's jump right into it, and I hope you guys enjoy the content. Because as I said in the intro, we are at a record amount of fear in the cryptocurrency industry right now. And honestly, I think this is exactly what I'm seeing in terms of sentiment. People are giving up, guys. Right now, pretty much everyone is throwing in the towel. Charles Hoskinson is saying he's leaving X. There are so many different Bitcoiners who I've seen saying, oh, Bitcoin's going down to 10,000. We're selling all our Bitcoin. We're moving on. We're doing more exciting things. Pretty much every single bottom signal you could get from a sentiment perspective is essentially playing out in the market. And for the past couple of months, I have unfortunately, watched so many projects that, I wasn't over my heels about, I wasn't jumping off the wall about, but still interesting projects essentially just pack up and leave. Now, to be honest, people have always asked me, why don't you talk about this project? Why don't you talk about that project? Hey, I have a bunch of this. Why don't you ever talk about this? And I've always stated on this channel that there was a very simple reason why I don't cover a lot of these different things. And the truth is because I personally see a very narrow use case for cryptocurrency technology. Not that I see a very narrow use case for every single crypto project out there and every single use of blockchain technology, but a very narrow use case for the token itself. And this is something that I've tried to talk a lot about on the channel, but you always have to be careful because some people get really offended if you talk bad about what their project is trying to achieve. Just to be clear, I'm not pretending like I know the end game or the end solution for all of this. But one of the things that, in my opinion, is the most obvious application of cryptocurrency technology is moving and settling value. The truth is when it comes to moving and settling value, the need for a token, the need for a fast and efficient blockchain are obvious. The truth is the XRP ledger falls perfectly into this category and is one of the few chains trying to do it. Bitcoin was one of the first chains that really set out to solve P2P payments, but it was doing so on a retail basis. It was doing so with people who don't make up the majority of value movement in the current financial system. And Bitcoin also got stuck in this weird dichotomy where it was half trying to be a store of value, half trying to be a settlement and liquidity network. Those two things don't really go together. Now, the XRP ledger was always very different because while the rest of the cryptocurrency industry seemed to look over payment, look over liquidity, look over settlement, which in my opinion are some of the killer use cases for cryptocurrency technology, they focused on other things like gaming and DeFi and all these different narratives. But guys, the truth is even the most exciting of those narratives, which in my opinion was probably DeFi, really didn't work out. Take a look at this DeFi chart right here. It's actually shocking. Guys, the DeFi ecosystem never got back to its all-time high in 2021. The DeFi ecosystem that grew exponentially from 2020 to 2021, tapped out and never came back. Right now, we're sitting at the same level in DeFi locked that we did in the middle of the original adoption of DeFi. And a lot of people are going to ask, right? Does this mean that cryptocurrency has failed? Does this mean that DeFi has failed? In my opinion, absolutely not. The problem is actually much different. And this is a problem that Ripple has uniquely tried to tackle that the rest of the cryptocurrency industry has just completely slept on. And the issue is people have tried to treat these cryptocurrency networks like consumer-facing applications. How many times have you heard or seen someone trying to pitch you to go interact with a blockchain? How many times have you heard someone trying to pitch you to go use their new cryptocurrency project? How many times has there actually been a reason for you to do it? How many times have you gone and done it and been like, okay, this is something I'm going to be doing every single day? There's just interesting problem in the cryptocurrency industry right now that so many projects are trying to chase consumer-led applications for cryptocurrency technology, but it's just not a consumer-facing technology. The truth is cryptocurrency technology and blockchain technology are infrastructure level plays. They are things that settle value, move value, and create financial products in the background. But in my opinion, aren't supposed to really be interacted with by the end net user. And this is something that I think a lot of projects have just gotten wrong. They've wanted people to log on to their dApps and play around with all these niche little things they've built, when in reality, most of the time the user really doesn't even have any reason to go there. And people have said, oh, well, we need people to start using these things. We need people to start interacting with these things, using these things on a daily basis, and users can't find a reason to use them. Guys, the truth is, and Hugo Filion nailed this, the entire industry is going to be forced to pivot to what Ripple has been doing since day one. In the very early days, Ripple and XRP were called banker coins because they're working with the system. But really, I just think the entire industry got something critical wrong. There weren't consumer-facing free money generators. There weren't consumer-facing blockchain gaming platforms that had any level of success or any level of interest from the net consumer. The truth is the vast majority of what blockchain technology is going to be useful for is going to be interacted with under the application and financial products we're already using. And that's what Ripple has always been focused on, building infrastructure, making it so that blockchain technology is the back-end settlement system for the financial system without you as a net consumer or user having to understand the technology being used. Ripple has always positioned themselves as the Amazon of crypto. And the truth is Amazon got popular because they solved internet problems for companies that didn't understand the internet. Right now, the majority of the cryptocurrency industry is saying, oh, the internet's awesome. Everyone go start interacting with internet protocols and building out your own applications directly into the internet. And the truth is that's just not what consumers do. Instead, what consumers do is consumers are going to take advantage of the same services that they're used to, except rolled up into the internet to make them more valuable. That is what Ripple is doing with cryptocurrency. And that's the killer application that I think is going to emerge in the crypto resurgence that we're going to see over the next couple months. Guys, I believe we are going to reach a new all-time high in DeFi, but it's not going to be the DeFi we've seen before in the past. It's not going to be these infinite yield generation Ponzi schemes. It's not going to be NFTs or pump and dump tokens. Instead, what it's going to be is actual institutional settlement and actual institutional tokenization to create new markets, to create new settlement platforms, to create new ways of exchanging and interacting with liquidity. That's where we're headed, in my opinion. And to be honest, I think a lot of projects are going to fail in the process because I don't think enough projects were focused on what mattered since day one. While the entire cryptocurrency world was calling Ripple and XRP a scam because they were working with banking institutions, because they were working with the regulated financial institutions, because they didn't think the regulated financial institutions were going to go away, guess what? Ripple was literally working with those people and figuring out what they needed, figuring out how to build products that were going to make sense in their current infrastructure stacks. So while the rest of the crypto industry was making fun of Ripple and XRP, Ripple and XRP were instead figuring out how to build systems that were going to last the test of time and actually be adopted. And guys, for a while, people said, oh, well, you know what? The real adoption is happening on retail. But what we're seeing is that faded like the snap of a finger. Everything we have seen, everything that we have built on a retail level basis for crypto has essentially fallen off a cliff. And now no one's talking about it. And just like Hugo says in this interview right now everyone is pivoting to try to copy what Ripple and XRP have been doing since day one. People are slowly starting to realize that this technology is really made to aid and abet the current financial players. It was really made to create a better financial system, but the end consumer doesn't normally interact with the end financial system. We are normally taking advantage of products being delivered to us by the financial conglomerates themselves. So guys, the truth is I think we're going to see a lot of change in the cryptocurrency industry over the next couple of years. But I think the good news is for us is I think we've actually been spot on with XRP's position and with what Ripple's been doing. I think unfortunately that still means the entire cryptocurrency industry is going to need a cleansing. And that's going to have a downward pressure. That's going to have downward effects for a lot of projects out there. And that might even have a small impact on Ripple and XRP in the short term. But I think over the long run, we're absolutely in the right place. I've never felt more confident in Ripple and XRP. And to be honest, I feel less confident in some other dust projects that I've held in wallets that, I've always been skeptical of. But now I feel like really they have no chance. Like the future we're heading into, that's just not where people's attention is going to be. People's attention in the world we're heading into is going to be on the players, the projects that are actually solving real world problems and have a position carved out by the players who matter. Guys, when it comes down to the regulated financial system, most of the activity is done by the top 100 players. And that's not going to change, in my opinion. And if it was, it's certainly not going to change anytime soon. The projects that I believe are going to matter the most are going to be the projects building to become part of that regulated system. And guys, while the rest of the cryptocurrency industry made fun of Ripple and XRP, Ripple was buying things like G Treasury and Hidden Road to become integrated, systemic, and critical to the new financial infrastructure. So guys, I think the next crypto wave we're going to go through, Ripple and XRP are going to be a highlight. It's going to be every single project chasing them, trying to become and get put in the place and put in the same narrative that Ripple and XRP have been building to since the start. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed this update. For now, Nickel out.